Happy birthday! Hey, look, we're all jacked up.
I told you.
You're all in the wrong spot. Okay. Yeah.
I am getting
What's up, everybody? Welcome to A.M.O.K.
so dizzy, so dizzy.
I'm like, okay, I'm trying different times. I'm like, okay, if I put this person on here and this person on it, and it doesn't matter. It shuffles up every time. It's not my show. It's Ken's show. Take it away.
Hey, first I have to answer a question. Karen asks, why is YouTube showing starting at 6 p.m.? That's because it's Eastern time zone.
Well, it shouldn't be. It should be local.
No, 6 p.m. is Eastern. Maybe Adrian's new computer is still set on New York or something.
Oh my God.
Anyway, hi everybody.
I'll take the time.
Hey, welcome all of our fans, our billions and billions of fans. There's more than 1 billion now. There's billions and billions.
Billions and billions and billions.
Billions, just like the bubbles, on the Vest soda. Anyway, welcome to A.M.O.K, and it truly has been A.M.O.K for the past 10 minutes for us. But
Normal.
this is Mo Week, and I thank you all for being here, and all of us for being here as well. And I would like to introduce you to Nick Campagna.
Yep.
Did I pronounce it right?
Close enough.
All right. You can correct me. I mean, I've only known you for what, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever.
Something like that,
Yeah, but Nick is from the Haunted Souls Society, and he and his group are investigators of all things paranormal. But I am still not sure about the UFO side of things. I know everything else about it, but they also enjoy using and creating innovative methods to conduct their research. So we're going to talk to Nick tonight and find out what's going on in his world, what they're up to, and take it away, Nick. You're on. No, no,
we're good.
We're good.
You can speak for the next 55 minutes. We'll just listen.
Yes, we're just gonna watch you. Stare at you really creepily.
55 minutes, we're good. We can do this.
All right, we're about done. Okay, time's up. No, that hour went fast, didn't it?
That was quick. We're good.
Nick, I've known Nick for what? Seriously, maybe 3 or 4 years, something like that. And I know your team goes back a ways, and you go back at least a couple of years before that. What got you involved in the paranormal?
Oh boy.
Or what caught your eye in the in the field?
There was a lot of things that caught my eye. I mean, back in high school, well, just give a little background about myself. I went to Catholic high school, grade school, all the way through and all. And I'm just like didn't agree with the religion, especially in the 80s and all that, when there was a lot of things going on along and all that. So basically, when I was in high school, I dabbled in the dark arts and Satanism. That was a really I know, but I enjoy it. But back then, if anybody lived in the St. Charles area, here in the St. Charles, Missouri area, back then they had the water treatment plant, where what is now Weldon Springs.
Oh, sure.
That was a hot spot back in the late 80s, early 90s for the occult. And if you were out here, you knew about people looking for blonde-haired and blue-eyed women or girls and all that. Yeah. For sacrifices and all that here. And
I'm so glad I didn't live there back in the 80s.
Yeah, it was a different feel. It was a good feel though. I mean, it was the best decade. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Anyways, I got involved with the dark arts and all that, and I'm involved with Satanism, and it opened up my eyes to a whole different side of things. As far as the paranormal, it even opened it up more, because being involved with the dark arts themselves, you had to believe both sides of the tracks. Just like God and the devil, one can't exist without the other, good and evil and all that. So I got involved with it for about 3-4 years, got out of it, and not proud of some things that, went on down there, but at the same time, I learned from it and evolved. And then after that, I sort of tucked everything away. didn't really do much of anything. And my daughter was born. She's now going to be 29 this year. I'm just like, at the time I dropped everything, didn't do anything else. It wasn't until my second marriage that to my wife now, Nikki, that I opened up more so to her, and all of a sudden now I'm here doing investigations and doing events and all that, and dabbling a little bit more, not necessarily in the dark arts, but dabbling in ways to communicate with the other side. Because there's always answers that people always have, or that people always want their questions. They have answers for. It's like, what happened to you? And it's like, you're only going to find that by talking to somebody on the other side that it was actually their hope. And hopefully you're talking to the right person. So, I mean, I've got a lot of dark things that happen with me and everything, but like I said, you learn from it. You always learn from your history.
Yeah. Learn from what you do.
Exactly.
Agree.
Good or bad, learn from it and don't repeat it. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's what.
Bad, don't repeat it.
Yeah, if it's bad, you definitely don't want to repeat it. But just like a lot of what's going on now, we're trying to erase history. You can't erase history. You got to learn from it and don't repeat what was bad.
Precisely. I knew I liked you.
So Nick, at the time, was there like a sudden awakening that pulled you out of it?
There was to the point where there was some animal sacrifices that were being done at the water treatment plant, and something just didn't sit well with me for like the third one that I was involved with, and I'm just like, something's not right. So when I got out, when I went to pull myself out of it, there was others there saying, no, you can't, you'll never leave and all that. I was like, no, that's not the way it is. So at that time I had to dip back into my faith and everything to pull myself out of it. And that's what helped me, honestly. And am I a practicing Catholic now? No. I still don't agree with a lot of things that the church has done and is doing. But like I said, you got to believe both. You got to believe, for good and evil. There's a balance there. Just like the universe has a balance, there's a balance between good and evil. So, I mean, there is faith in there somewhere. It's just not as deep as my parents would like me to have it. But, that's the way it is.
So you've kind of come around almost full circle, as they say, and you're more spiritual as opposed to, I use the term religious.
Yes.
Okay, I'm kind of in that same boat. I had similar background as you, as for not the dark art stuff,
correct?
But seminary and Catholic grade school all the way through. So I can understand a lot of people are pulled away over the past 30 years or so, and it is kind of incredible.
And it's, I mean, whether it's, they always say you don't want to cross that line between religion and politics. But how funny is it that everything revolves around politics and religion, and they've always intertwined.
Yeah.
And even though it was preached when anybody get into politics, you don't want to mix the two together when you're talking.
If you're a spiritual person, then that's your moral base, and when you speak from your moral base. So if you're religious, and I agree, it's more about a relationship than a religion. Things like we don't have a governing body in my church, but if I speak from my moral base, which is from a political perspective. And to tell me just because I'm in politics that you have to deny who you are, I'm going to tell you as an American, jump.
Oh no, I agree. I mean, I don't denounce anybody's faith. I don't put them down for it. You believe what you want to believe. That is totally, and everybody has their own opinions.
Yeah, that's what makes us unique and amazing.
I mean, honestly, if everybody believed the same thing, the world would be.
It'd be so boring.
It'd be boring, but it'd be hell in a handbasket right now.
Same thing. Of Ship's Creek without a paddle. That's what we'd be.
So I mean, I don't denounce anybody's, go against anybody. Say no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't believe this. Is like, whatever you want to believe, that's fine, but don't push it down my throat.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, that's what they did with high school, and that's what they did with grade school. Is religion just?
Yeah.
They didn't spoon feed you. I mean, they just had utensils that just kept shoving it down. Like, yeah, wasn't for me.
Yeah, and school's meant to learn, not to.
Yeah,
not that mess.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do it again.
They are.
Yep.
So, but anyways, what got me into it was me pulling myself out of the dark arts and everything, and opening my eyes, and the spiritual side of me opened up and said, "Hey, there's something here." But like I said, when I was with my first wife, I hid all that basically from her because her parents were Southern Baptist.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So we'll just leave it at that. I didn't know about anything.
I got you, and I didn't mean to go into the politics and the religious side of things because we usually don't do that. But you started.
But his had a lot. Well, yeah, because his background had a lot of religion.
No, serious joking there. Okay, but so has your learning from those several years, has it enhanced what you're now doing on a, I'm going to say, a more positive level?
It has. I mean, it's opened my mind, opened my third eye, if you will, as well, to anything that happens in any place we investigate. It has opened me up so much to the point where I found out probably about 4 years ago that I am what's considered an emotional empath. Okay. I feel the feelings basically, and how spirits, how they felt whenever something happened to them. Prime example is Ray County Museum, which we'll be having an event on this Saturday at. We'll get into that in a bit. But Ray County Museum, I've been drug out of there 3 times by 2 of my team members, just from bawling my eyes out like a little baby and not being able to collect myself, because I've been able to feel the emotions of whether it was a child, a student, a teacher, or whatever from in that museum, that they've had to carry me out, and I've had to leave an event because of it, because I was a wreck.
Just overwhelming.
It was very overwhelming. And if anybody's been to Ray County, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we all have.
Yep. So
it's a cool place.
Oh, it's
a cool place.
Let's put it this way: there's I'm gonna say it's the wing that has the band room and the school room. I'm not allowed to go down there by myself.
Oh, wow.
To me. So I open myself up a little bit too much sometimes, and everybody's just like, "You're an idiot." I'm like, "Oh."
How are we going to prove if things are real if we don't get into it?
So I get into it pretty well and pretty much and everything. And I'm just like, so I do have, my wife goes down there with me, and she'll say, "Okay, let's go." I'm like, "Okay." I don't want
to. That episode you're just talking about sounded like myself when I was called the crybaby because at the Ohio State Reformatory, in that center area between the 2 wings by the chapel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a highly emotional all day for me until about 2 a.m. when we finally figured out what was going on. And boy, it's a long story, but we won't talk about it tonight. But this is about you, but we'll talk about that later.
Definitely. I want to hear about it.
But so I know you do events, and you've been doing those for a while now. Is that correct?
With the previous group that we were with, the majority with the group that I am with now, Haunted Soul Society, we were with another group beforehand. We did events with them, and didn't really like the way things are going with the group itself. So we back in 2020 was our last year with them. We were doing we were doing events like almost every month, it seemed like.
You're saying events, so you talk about like ghost hunts?
Ghost hunts at like Pythian Castle, Potosi, Ray County Museum. And we were doing like Pythian Castle once a quarter, it seemed like, and for 2 nights, Friday night and Saturday night. And it put a toll on you.
Yeah.
So we didn't like the way the group was going at the time. So my wife, Nikki, myself, and a few of the other members formed Haunted Soul Society in 2021. Basically, we were just like, we'd like to do the events, but we didn't really like the fact that at an event you would have 30, 40 people there. And then all of a sudden if you have levels, you have 3 levels, and you have what I call gatekeepers of those levels. People were standing there, and it didn't jive with me. And a lot of the attendees that were there, I would overhear them saying, "This isn't what I expected, or this isn't fun." I've got
too many people in a small space.
too many people in a small room. My Pythian Castle was one thing, but at the same time, when you would have people do an EVP session in the Queen's room and all that, you hear it in the child's room. I mean, it didn't work for us.
You got to tailor the group size to the event space.
Correct.
And you tend to think, well, we need to make money for whatever we're making money for, so you want more people, but then it ruins it.
It does.
It ruins
Those that are really out there to investigate.
Yeah. Correct. I mean, even if you're first timers and that, but at the same time,
having a good time. And as a paying attendee, you're like, well, there's so many people here that I get it from both sides, because we held events too. So
correct.
I totally understand.
I mean, it was just to the point where it's like, when you're hearing people grumble, I pay good money, and all of a sudden they're hearing 2-3 EVP sessions going off. Just like, I didn't want to do that. I wanted something different. So no matter where we're at, for the most part, we only have 16 people. That's it. So basically, with that being a bonus, in that we're not having somebody sit on each floor or saying, okay, you guys, we have 30 minutes here, or we have 45 minutes here. What I'd tell our attendees, I'm like, if you've never been here before, we're here to help you guys out. We investigate with them, which was a counter with another group with the other group we were with. They're just like, no, you're there to help. If they ask questions, that's one thing. I'm just like, I want to investigate with them. I like to investigate with the attendees, especially if they're new. They have questions about a paranormal 101. I want to be there to answer them and investigate with them. So I have our attendees. I go, you guys go out and do what you want. What do you mean? I've had a few of them go, what do you mean, do what you want? I was like, you guys can roam where you want to go on the grounds, at the museum or wherever we're at. And a lot of them never even heard of that. They're just like, you're not going to walk with us? I'm like, oh, we'll walk. We're going to walk around with you guys and everything, but we're not going to hold your hands.
No, you're in charge. That's you paid me to be here.
You paid the money. I want you guys to now, if you have questions or you want to do an EVP session with any of the members of Haunted Soul Society, by all means, we're all for it. But we like to interact with the attendees with the experiments that we have. Whether it's an EVP session, whether it's, sitting down, just in a room for 15, 20 minutes and do nothing but silence and see if, something happened.
Yeah.
We don't care. You guys attendees paid their money to investigate, not to sit there and be lectured on how to investigate.
Right.
Which is how
we love it.
Yeah.
We love to teach.
We used to do ours that way too. We'd have larger groups, but it's a large multi-level hospital here, and we'd split in smaller groups in different floors, try to keep a floor in between.
Correct.
We'd teach them to keep their voices down and stuff like that, but we'd give them pointers. This is your investigation. But
exactly.
Sometimes it's like if they're doing EVP sessions, they're asking the question too fast. We get them to slow it down, give them a chance to answer. So and by the time that these people who weren't investigators, by the time they left the event, they actually knew how to do a basic investigation. I mean,
correct.
You can't learn everything from one event, but they learned. Oh, wow! I never thought about doing that. Like you said, sitting in a room for so many minutes. Some people just want to walk with their flashlight on. You never see anything there.
No. Well, not only that, it's like, people are just, they want to sit in an EVP session, and they're just like, how do we do that? Like, well, we'll show you. You know, I'm not going to sit there and tell you exactly how to do it because there's no per se right or wrong way to do it.
Right.
However,
my way is the right way.
And
I'm the type that
the
gets
only
told a
way.
lot. You need to lower your voice. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm deaf. I'm loud naturally. So,
I mean, they have our attendees just to say, you're going to let us roam and let us investigate. We're like, yeah, if you want us there. I mean, we have equipment that lend out to the attendees if they don't have anything. Because I'll do a brief 101 session on the equipment that we have. And I said the last thing that I tell everybody is like, the best equipment that you have is yourself.
yes.
Yeah.
Trust your instincts.
Sure.
I mean, when you're doing something like, you know, we do the Estes method. And everybody's just like, well, what's that? And I tell them, they're just like, well, how do you see anything? It's like, you're not supposed to. You know, that's the reason for being blindfolded, because you open up your hearing intensifies when you start losing your one sense, the other senses pick up.
Yep.
So it's like, we explain it all to them, and we've not had one person that's come to me and said, oh, this wasn't fun or wasn't interesting. I've had more responses back saying we love the smaller groups.
Yeah.
You actually get to have an EVP session and not have interference from somebody else because they're laughing because they're talking so loud.
Yeah. Well, we did that, had firsthand experience with that again, 2 weeks ago.
I like following Ken around because Ken has like toys that I don't have.
You're not supposed to tell them that, Shaw. Come on.
Now,
So-
Now you're
Just make sure the batteries are charged.
I got a whole bag full of them, Nick.
Mhm.
I know, so do I.
Yeah, batteries. They're like ghost candy, really.
It is. I mean, Nick and I just went through all of our equipment for this weekend, and we replaced all the batteries because the other ones are just old. So we replaced all the batteries. I've got to get more batteries now.
Yeah, I got them. Well, I mean, you and I have been to, I, along with you and your group, have been to quite a few places the past few years. Some new places. Place up in Alton, not Alton, but the school. I think it was the one of the schools with that little room inside the room upstairs.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of it now.
Yeah, I can't think of that was an interesting place, and I got to see you guys do some things that I'm like, this is interesting. I had never thought about doing it that way before.
I'm a tech guy. I like to figure things out. I mean, I've got my associate's, my bachelor's degree in computer electronic engineering.
Okay.
So I'm the one that at the time I would make all the breadboards for the computer boards and all that. I was the one that would put all the microchips on and transistors and all the diodes and all that. I'd solder all that on. Then robotics came and knocked me out of my job. So I mean, I like to work with tech, but at the same time, I like to use old-fashioned means of communications. You know, by just sitting there talking, putting on your voice recorder and letting it go. You know, ask your questions, like you said, Adrian. Give it a chance for the spirit to answer you. But at the same time, you don't want to draw it out too long because then at that time everybody starts losing interest. Like on our EVP sessions, we only do about between 10 and 15 minute sessions. We don't drag them out 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or anything like that. Because honestly, as you all know, listening to those sometimes, it gets Monday.
Yes.
You start hearing snoring after the fact. Right?
I like having cameras on though. I like having like a camera on me, and I want to get my GoPro so I can have a GoPro on me to face that way, because I like having all points of vision seen. So if something is heard, they can see who was all in the room, who's talking.
That's actually something I actually have a body cam that I just purchased within the last week and a half. So I'm just like, I want to have something else out there. I want to be able to see what my POV would be like.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So that'll be something that we do at this weekend at Ray County. But as far as investigating, it's just like you see all these shows and they're scared almost of trying to do different things. They want to, they want to try this, but the network's like, that's not interesting or anything like that.
Yeah.
And I understand, you got to do what the network says if you want to be on. I get it. So like for me, I'm just like, no, I want it with my team. Clay, McGuire, and myself, we're the guinea pigs of the group. We always put ourselves out there. Any experiment we do, especially with the mirrors, that's my idea, and that's something that if something happens, I want it to happen to me. I don't want it to happen to any of my attendees, from especially. But I don't want it to happen to any of my teammates.
Right.
So if it happens, I want it to happen to me. Clay's the same way. He has what they have what they call the God helmet, ghost helmet, whatever you want to call it. He uses it, and him and I work in conjunction with the Estes method. While he's wearing the helmet, I'm doing the Estes method, and we're back to back, far away from each other. So when questions are being answered or asked, of course I can't hear them, but hear what the answers are. But this way here, there's no interference with either one of us. And that's just one method that we've been doing. We've been doing that now for about 2 years.
So you mentioned mirrors. What is with the mirrors?
All right, with the mirrors, like I said, I don't necessarily like them. Never really have. We get made fun of about it and everything. But they're portals that they're not used properly, and we all know that. It's like similar to like a Ouija board. You can open them up, better learn how to close them, because otherwise spirits and all that can run amok, if you will. So
We see what you did there.
I tried.
That was good. Didn't even get a chance to go.
Right?
I try. I'm here for the next 30 minutes, so we're good. So with the mirrors, and I bring up all the shows because
I'm back.
Ghost Adventures and Taps. Nobody has ever addressed the mirror issue except Zach when he thinks that everything's a demon, and
Right.
To be fair, he's in it for the entertainment part.
exactly.
100%.
Bill, 1,000%. But I mean, nobody really addresses mirrors. So honestly, probably about 9 months ago, I came up with an idea of using mirrors, and it wasn't just using 4 mirrors; it's using 8 mirrors that totally surround us. Well, actually, me, because I'm the one. Like I said, when I do an experiment, I put myself in the line of fire before anybody else, and it's basically me in the middle of the mirror sitting on another set of mirrors. So I have reflection all the way around me and coming up above, but they're all facing in all the cardinal directions. North, northeast, north, and then east. It goes all the way around, all 8 of them, all 8 cardinal directions, and they're marked, they're labeled, so that's the only direction that they go. And then we've also integrated to where each direction. One direction's air, one direction's fire, one direction's land, and our earth, I should say. And we have lights that mimic the colors for those. So like fire would be red, earth would be green, air would be blue. So we have that's all the way around. Those are lights sitting on those particular directional mirrors facing in at me. And then we performed the Estes method. So I'm blindfolded, sitting on these mirrors, and I have somebody else doing the Estes method.
Yeah, I don't.
So,
yeah. I mean, where did you come up with the idea with the mirrors, though?
honestly,
I'm not following. I got a great mirror story, but I want to understand where you're coming from.
honestly, it was something I was talking to another gentleman about because McIntyre and Malvern had portal mirrors connecting each other at one time. And it got me thinking when I was at Malvern talking to Josh. I was like, what would happen if I basically engulfed myself in mirrors, top and not from the bottom and all the way around, and did an EVP session? Since mirrors are supposed to be portals to the other side and to help communicate, what's stopping me from doing that? So,
okay, yeah, I understand that. So because you're looking at mirrors as portals, then if you put yourself in the center of a whole bunch of them, then possibly you're going to get more activity. Okay, okay, I see where you're coming from. I don't know if mirrors are portals. I can't say that they're not, but I can't say that they are. I will say that at our most intense investigation we ever had, a lady was attacked on a bed. This was more of a demonic infestation type haunting. I hear it too.
Okay.
And but I was standing in the doorway. Tina was sitting on the foot of the bed that the attack happened, and she was looking into a mirror. In the mirror, she saw a shadow come up behind her and start coming closer to her. I, standing 90 degrees from her, can see the entirety of the bed, cannot see the shadow that she is talking about. So so I mean, maybe a mirror the way it's made can help you see things. I don't know how it would help with EVPs, but my thing is crazy on my computer here. But yeah, so I know I understand you putting I love putting a theory to the test. So
oh yeah. I mean, we've done it. We did it at Malvern this year. This is the first time we did it and everything. And Josh was there with us, and it was intense because with me being in the middle, and like I said, it was only about 10, 15 minutes long, but I felt the intensity inside there. And the answers that I was spewing out from the SS method, from the questions that were being asked, between Clay and I, we were relatively close to the same answers. And he was at another end, and I was in the middle of the mirrors. So the activity, in my eyes, ramped up a little bit more.
yeah,
I mean, now we also have the mirrors blessed and cleansed. So every time we're done with them, we cleanse them.
yeah.
Just because I'm not bringing anything home.
No, I get that.
I don't want my mirrors to be a transport for something that's going to stay in my house. So we cleanse them, when we're done. And that's something that we just did. We've only done that experiment once. We'll be doing it again at Ray County this weekend.
So, and with the mirrors, I know it enhances your perceptions. Was it just the audio or being blindfolded, which is really interesting? Could you actually see anything with your third eye? Did you see images or anything that correlated to the sounds that you may have heard?
There was that particular, when we did it, there was one I saw a shadow figure, and it was to my right, and I always kept getting tugged to the right, like something was pulling me. And it was notated with Josh, as well as with my team, that I kept leaning to the right, and I kept saying, no, I don't want to go over that way. But I kept getting tugged that way. So it enhanced my third eye because we're being blindfolded. Of course, you can't see, so opening yourself up a little bit more increases that chance of something. I don't want to say that it's demonic by any means, but something there can always pull you in, and I don't want to say take over, but mess with your mind, if you will. And that's where you got to be careful. And that's where I got to be careful with is I don't want it to mess with my mind, and I don't want it to stay with me. Every time I leave a place, I always say, thank you. You guys, all you spirits have been great. Thank you for communicating. And we leave. So I mean,
That's a good practice.
Yeah, that's a real good practice.
It work, but that's a great practice.
well,
So-
another thing that that my wife Nikki and I learned when we went down to New Orleans. Let's see, our first time down there was in 2015, and then we went back in 2017. We met up with a witch down there, and she was a good witch, nothing bad or anything like that. But one thing that she always said that she did is that when she walked out of cemeteries or any other place, she would walk out backwards and say thank you to the spirits, so nothing would follow her home. So that's something that we do. And we mainly say thank you. I don't walk necessarily backwards anymore. I used to, but now I just say thank you, and you guys need to stay here.
Much team members upon leaving places because, like, no, we're leaving this here. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a nice spirit. I don't care, especially don't want anything bad coming back with me.
can't trust the spirit to
But
be
you
with
need to stay here.
All right.
That's interesting.
But you know, and go ahead.
Go ahead, Shaw.
I was gonna say, if I'm a spirit, people can tell me that all they want to, but I'm still gonna pop up where I want to go.
That's fine.
I mean, I understand some of the crystals and stuff, the powers, but that
I
wears
just don't
off.
want anything following me home. I got enough baggage I got to deal with and everything from my past that I'm still dealing with it. I don't need any more.
Understandable.
I don't know if you heard when I was leaving the last time we were together up in Keithsburg. Did you hear me how I close my sessions?
No, I did not.
I said on the count of 3, I'm going to turn this off and disconnect our connection. And I will go, 1, thank you for talking to us. 2, I appreciate your responding back to us, or whatever I want to say.
Correct.
And 3, when I say 3, I say, and again, thank you and good night and goodbye. And then I wait for about a minute or so before I actually turn it off. Sometimes I'll get responses. I know Shaw and Pam, you guys heard that when we were at the Bell Mansion.
Yeah.
And the guy said, what, thank you and or good night. And then the kids said, goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was great. So
It was.
Very cool.
So that's my closing. I'm sorry?
MIT. I said basically when you're at the end of your investigation, you're like MIT. See you real soon.
There you go. Yes, I was
We
caught
like
up
you.
on that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
My luck, they'll follow me.
Wow. So let's talk. I know you've done a lot of ghosty stuff. What about other avenues in the paranormal? Are you into the cryptids at all, or are you into the ufology at all, or?
A little bit, not much, not as much, honestly. I mean, now do I believe in all that? Yes, I believe there's cryptids out there. I believe there's UFOs. I believe there's aliens. I believe in all that. I do.
Okay.
I just never really was that interested into. I'm like, eh.
Well, there's so much, in each field. It's hard to let the specialists be in that field, and you do what most interests you.
Exactly. Like to me, I've looked into demonology. I mean, that's always fascinated me. I've looked into being a demonologist as well. Just everything about it has just has intrigued me to the point where it's like that's something I like to do. And I've been studying up on it and everything and talking to certain. I talked to a few of the demonologists. There's I can't think of his name now. Good Lord. Jeremy
Robert Chavez, is it?
No, it was Jeremy Leonard. He's down from Louisiana. I've spoken to him quite a few times and stuff. I've learned some things from him. I've learned what to do and what not to do and everything. But a lot of my readings that I do is stuff that I have, like Father Gabriel Amroth. He's a demonologist that has written books on personal experiences. And it's just something that I really I've always looked at. I've always wanted to be, and I've always been interested in. My parents would say something totally different because they were, I was raised Roman Catholic. So, I mean, have my parents, saying, "Oh, what are you doing?" Now my mom's out looking for Ouija boards for us, so estate sales. I'm just like, no, you can keep that stuff. I'll make my own. I'll do my own thing with them. I don't want somebody else's bad mojo.
I had somebody say that they believe in that. Always cover your mirror when you go to bed. Don't have a mirror reflecting your bed. Bad energies.
Yes, that's why I don't have a lot of mirrors.
But see,
That
I
was
had
your girl.
the floor that had the mirror at the footboard, the one in the ceiling. I never had any problem. I'm lying.
But you gotta wonder back in the 70s when they had the mirrors all over the walls and ceilings and everything, how did that go?
Yeah, that was for the
12-inch squares. The 12
Those are other
squares.
purposes. They were not for paranormal use.
Yeah. But the smoky ones were the best. There you go.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, I was when you said demonology just a minute ago. Our last week's show, check it out because we talked about demonology quite a bit.
We did.
And it was from a Roman Catholic, correct? I believe.
Old Catholic Church.
Yes, Roman Catholic Church. So he was on the show last week.
Bishop James Long.
Yeah.
Very cool
Gotcha.
guy.
Let's check it out.
So check that one out. But so tell us about maybe one of the craziest experiences you've had, or the best, worst, whatever you want to call, whichever direction you want to go. One of the strangest.
Paranormal, or
that's what you were mostly in. The
paranormal. I'd say for paranormal, it would be probably one of the first times I found out I was an emotional empath with the Bray County Museum.
Okay.
I was on the wing where the schoolroom and the band room are. I'm walking down and I saw something out of the corner of my eye, so I went to investigate. I was by myself, and then my wife Nikki came up, and some of the other group they came up, but they're like, "Okay, it's time to go." Well, I was so fixated down that hallway that I didn't hear anything or anybody except whatever voice it was down that hallway. My wife had to literally take me by the belt loop and pull me back slowly. And I didn't even know she was doing it. And then the next thing I know, I just broke down. I was falling for whatever reason.
Which floor was that?
That was on the second floor.
Second floor, okay.
As you go up the steps, and you go on to the right, there's a hallway. It has all the mannequins down.
Yeah, okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. So the mannequins.
No, so I mean, that one there, it literally took about 15 minutes to get me out of that hallway, and it took my wife Nikki and a friend of mine who was with the group, Greg, to carry me down the steps. And after that, I wasn't worth anything. I was drained. I was crying the whole time. Don't know why. And I couldn't continue on with the investigation.
Wow.
So from that point on, I was told not to go down that hallway by myself. So the next time we were there, I went down the hallway by myself again.
That sounds like me.
They drug you out again.
So,
I'm sorry?
And they drug you out again.
Yeah.
Yep, they did. And I got yelled at by everybody on my group.
Trying to communicate with you? Was it trying to tell you something, or just was it?
It was one of those voices, whereas that was saying, "Come down here. I want you to listen to my story."
Yeah.
But it was muffled to the point where I couldn't understand what was going on. So the more I concentrated, the more emotions that I felt from the teachers that were abused there, as well as the students.
Yeah.
Just because there was a headmaster there that actually abused, physically and mentally abused students and teachers, and from with the clothing and all that was in the schoolroom. So I felt all those emotions just coming at me. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I didn't know anything about it at the time, so I'm just like, I'm intrigued, so I focused down there. And after that, I just remember being on the front of Ray County porch
Huh.
with Greg and my wife Nikki carrying me down. I'm like, what happened? They told me. I'm like, I don't remember much of what's going on, because it was all muffled.
Yeah, at least you were able to go down the hall. I was not allowed to go down that hall. There was like a force field there. I could not cross that. I could not cross that threshold. I think Shaw. I think you were with me, weren't you?
When at the Ray County Museum, yeah,
Ray County. Yeah, I
Yep.
was not allowed to go down that hallway. Pam, I'm not sure if you were up there at the same time, but
I don't think I was there then, but I remember you guys talking about it.
it would not allow me to go down the hallway at all that whole night we were there.
Now I do know. I have to speak with Kathy.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
Adrian.
Adrian. Go ahead.
I said that kind of stuff that happened to me because I've been in places where I feel like I don't belong there. I shouldn't be there. That makes me stay there for more. I try to. I guess that's because I don't necessarily provoke, but there's something feels like it's like being negative towards me or trying to push me out. I tend to get a little stubborn and stay.
I just wasn't allowed to walk across the threshold at all.
Weird.
Something was holding me back.
You're a vampire.
Well, yeah, I think so. Sometimes.
no, he couldn't. He was like, oh,
I'm sorry, Nick. We interrupted you.
I know about that too. I know about vampires. Vampirism. That's a whole other. That's another side of me.
Oh
boy,
vampires suck.
oh my gosh.
That can be for another show.
Another show. That sounds good.
Jess is calling it the hallway of nightmares. She remembers the wonky-eyed, poorly dressed.
Oh yeah, that mannequin that y'all. Oh my gosh.
Actually, maybe it was Jess that was with. Anyway,
He calls it the hallway of nightmares.
Hallway of Nightmares. Yeah.
I agree with that. Though I was like, okay, yeah, this is a bit freaky. It's the freakiest thing in the whole place.
Mm-hmm.
It was the one room that got me was the student room and the room with all the instruments and the jersey. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the two rooms that they've drugged me out of both of those rooms before.
I felt
The last time I was there, they found me. I wandered off again. I always like to do things on my own, and I wandered off into the band room, and about a half hour later, my team was looking for me. I was curled up in the band room in a fetal position, bawling my eyes out for whatever reason.
it was such a sad feeling in that room, and I'm not one to. I don't have any kind of gifts or anything like that.
You get a sad, dark.
Yeah, it was so sad.
So they had that's another room they drugged me out of too. I was like, all right, well.
Yeah,
the military uniform room is another one. Yeah, that's the one that Ken and I were in, where he was talking to them, and then he brought up.
I don't know. I brought up something about.
You brought up the
Nazis.
German. Yeah, you brought up something, and I asked them to talk to you about it, and they just went silent.
Shut down.
They didn't talk in that room the rest of the night.
See,
what'd you do, man?
That building felt.
I think I used the word Nazi, and I don't.
No, it wasn't Nazi. You used you said Nazi, but they responded to that. It was when you were asked them about the day, the Holocaust. You said the Holocaust. You said, "Can you tell me about the Holocaust?" And they went.
Maybe that's what it was.
Nope, ain't talking to you.
Yeah.
The room that I don't know if you guys have been there since it's been open. The Middle Eastern room. It has everything from the Afghan, it has some artifacts from the war, the Desert Storm, and all that.
It was.
That was on the second floor, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on the second floor, and it's actually tucked back behind some steps and all that from another room.
She said something about opening something about that. So that was after we invested.
Yeah, after we were there.
That room is very heavy. I mean, it has artifacts from the Afghan War. It has stuff from Desert Storm, and from the war in the 90s and all that, all over there in the Middle East. It's actually called the Middle Eastern room. It has all these artifacts.
wow.
It's heavy in that room. My wife Nikki won't go into it.
See, I'm not psychic. My wife isn't psychic, and we walked around the place and saw things. And, I was like, okay, it's neat. Museums are always neat, anyways. But it was downstairs in the basement, and Jessica made a mention of it. The giant horse head in the
The horse.
basement. In the little room by the horse head. And you go in there with all the farming implements that are up there, and all the
I
horse.
actually felt kind of creeped out being in there with all those killing.
Went on and start swinging.
Yeah, we felt like something was there, and yeah, that was we spent a good time in that room trying to communicate, but we listened back to all our recording, got nothing. We got no.
Well, I know whenever I was down there, I came back up and I was asking Tina and Pam, I think it was, that if anybody was walking upstairs, because I had gone down there by myself.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, no, nobody was walking. We were all in the room. And I'm like, well, I heard walking right above me. And I've got it on my recorder. I haven't posted it, but it is very interesting.
Yeah, Ray County is probably one of the most active places where we've had events. We've been to Malvern as well.
I want to go to Malvern.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. We've been there 2 or 3 times now, and it never disappoints either.
Really?
Last-
I gotta go.
Yeah, actually, I talked to Josh again. We're going to do another event there, and I want to say it's going to be in April next year. We're doing an event there.
I gotta get a hold of him and be like, okay, you said we can come up, have a beer weekend. What's up?
Yeah. I love Josh. I asked him to stay with us to witness the experiment with the mirrors and everything. And he said, yeah, he had no problem with it, and he stayed with us and everything.
Nice.
Watched the experiment. So I wanted somebody, besides just crew to
Witness.
notate, hey, this actually, I want him to witness this. So I asked him, when everything was over, like, what was your take on the experiment that we just did, or that we did over the week? He goes, it was great. The responses were phenomenal. He goes, the only one thing that I would recommend is to put it totally encapsulated with mirrors, and that means put mirrors on top of me. So I'm totally encapsulated with mirrors all the way around.
Yeah.
So that I'm hoping to have it done by this Saturday, so I can do that at Ray County. Because if I can get a response at Malvern, I know damn sure I'm going to get something at Ray County.
Yeah.
I may not like it, but that's the mirrors.
Interesting.
That's what I'm trying to do there by Ray County this weekend. So
Sweet. And that's what.
And most of the time we go live with it and everything on Facebook, and either on Facebook or Instagram, we'll go live.
It's hard to go live in that one room. As you go up the stairs, it's right past all the knickknacks and stuff that are on right across from the Indian room.
Oh yeah, that's the I almost said a Civil War room, but the
it is a Civil War room. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because for some reason we get blocked. It's like the internet is just blocks.
Yeah, it doesn't want to go through that room.
No.
It's
So
crazy.
honestly, I stay out of that room.
Or in that room.
My internet kept going in and out. It's like it was going in a circle.
Yeah, I was going in and out too. It's about that.
You had to dip in and out. You were dozing.
Oh, dozing.
Yeah, it was.
That was my own method of investigating.
Yeah, I did a very quiet session in the basement.
I was trying to do a psychic link through dreams.
Astral traveling.
Yeah.
Astral projection.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried that too, Adrian, down in the basement in that large conference room area.
Yeah.
Just on the other side, I think where the horse's rear end was. And I sat down there. I think I was down there for like half hour, 45 minutes, and I realized it's really quiet. I've been down here for a half hour, 45 minutes, and I wonder if I snored.
Yeah. You hear it on your
Possibility.
Interesting
Now, if you go
EVP.
down, when you go downstairs at Ray County, into the open room where the cells used to be,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we did was when we did our first big event of Fall into the Supernatural back in 2021. We went down another group was with us called Haunted Souls with a Z.
Mm-hmm.
They're from around this area, St. Louis area as well.
They're from our area.
And we did an experiment, and I again volunteered myself as a guinea pig, and they called it the human pendulum. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
No.
It sounds like fun though.
It was fun, but I had to be taken out again. But basically, it's blindfolded, and I was standing in the middle with the two gentlemen from Haunted Souls, and they were asked questions, and I was perfectly still. And basically, they would ask questions. If I'd move, like, hypothetically to the right, it was a yes. If I moved to the left, it was a no. And
Yeah.
it was like an Estes method standing up. But I was
so
answering,
they turned you around like you would like a pinata and stuff, so you didn't know where you were?
Huh.
I didn't know where I was or anything, but there was just those two, and and as I was swaying, one of them would, make sure I wouldn't fall over.
Right.
They called it human pendulum, and that was different.
Interesting.
It was different, and I give a credit to those guys because they opened my eyes up to another way of doing things. I haven't done it again since then, because I've been focusing on my mirrors and all that. But at the same time, it's something I'd like to try again.
But you got to have a lot of trust in your spotters.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's a very trust issue right there.
Don't get into a fight with your spouse before you do that.
Correct. Wait till afterwards.
As a spotter,
Especially those of us that are deaf, because our vertigo is.
Yeah, really bad. Hey, we got 2 minutes left. I want you to plug whatever you got coming up.
All right. Basically, this weekend, September 7th and September 8th, 7 p.m. September 7th to 2 a.m. on September 8th, we're going to Haunted Soul Society's putting on an event at Ray County Museum. And there's only 16 tickets sold, and right now we've sold about 8 of them. We've got 8 tickets sold, so you can go online. You can go to Eventbrite, or you can go onto our Facebook page, Haunted Soul Society, and there's a link there to get your tickets for it, like $65. And for Labor Day week, we put in a promo code for 15% off. It's Ray County 2024, capital R, capital C. So Ray County 2024, you get 15% off your tickets and all that. So from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m., you get to investigate with us, or you can go and investigate on your own. Either way, we always have we have extra equipment that attendees can always use and borrow, whether it's an EMF detector. We have digital as well as analog. Flashlights. I mean, we supply a lot of equipment for our attendees to use. We have specialty equipment as well. So I mean, we'll be out there for that, and then that's all we have at this time. We try to keep our events limited. It's, as you guys know, putting on events, it's time consuming.
Oh yeah.
No matter how small or big they are.
Yeah.
So
you can keep up with you.
Yeah. Now it's like we also have our website, www.thehauntedsoulsociety.com. You can check out past investigations that we've done there as well. There's also bios about everybody in the crew. Cool. So come on, check us out, and look forward to investigating with you guys as well. I know I've investigated with Ken, so it's something.
It would be fun.
It would be. It'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe we should make a trip to Malvern.
Ooh,
we can do that. We can do Malvern.
We still got to do the Villisca murder house too.
Yeah, that's another one. I know Malvern. We stayed the night at Malvern all through the night and let the recorders run. Johnny. This past year we did the same thing. We had an event there, and we sold tickets for attendees to stay the night in whatever room they wanted to.
Oh wow.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I want to
something-
do that.
We did that,
That's
and it was fun.
awesome.
That was
That's
fun.
awesome. Oh.
All right, we got next week coming up. That's the Shauna week.
Yes.
I don't have a guest for next week. I do for October, but not for this month. So I'll figure something out.
Sounds good.
I got this.
Oh, you got it.
And then Kansas weeks, we'll be talking about Bordertown Paracon, which is
and
on the
I'm
28th.
sure we'll be fresh off our investigation from the Missouri State Penitentiary.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes, for sure.
It'll be
To
good.
see you next week, same bat time, same bat channel. See ya.
Bye.
Hang on.
Nick,
everybody.
thank you.
Yeah, thank
No
you.
problem. Nice seeing you guys. Thank you.
Stick around.
Bye.